This is Michael Dermer, and I am the author of The Lonely Entrepreneur. I hope you enjoyed today's perspective.
Entrepreneurs all have our crazy stories. Here's one from The Lonely Entrepreneur.
So we had spent about 3 months researching and negotiating with a vendor to be our technology and call center vendor up in Vermont. Only to find out after 3 months that some of the core basic things that they said they could do, they actually couldn't do. And so we were really under the gun. And so what we originally had was 6 months to get our platform built and our call center set up. We were now down to 3 months. And so we were really scrambling. And so we happened to come across a company in South Florida that had both technology guys and call center guys. And we really hit it off, and they knew what they were doing. And so we hired them. And as we got to know each other, it turns out that the division of this company that we had hired was actually a little bit of a skunkworks division. It was a division of a much larger technology company that had been set up as a separate unit. And one of the reasons it had been set up as a separate unit is because it had developed one of the earliest applications for the internet that turned out to be wildly successful, and that was the porn sites. They had built the back end that all the porn sites had used to transition this very kind of old school, heavy picture and video business, and to move that online. And it was wildly successful. And so their parent company had set them up to, to kind of come up with what's the next porn. And so they really liked the idea of incentives. They saw the fact that if they worked with us to build an incentive platform, that could have lots and lots of applications throughout the economy. And so we worked and worked and worked, and we were about a month and a half into our engagement. We had about 6 weeks left to launch, and we really had a great working relationship with them. And then in the middle of the day, I got a phone call, and the phone call was from the president of this vendor of ours. And he said, listen, I have some really bad news. He goes, our parent company has decided to shut our division down. And, nobody in our company knows yet. And I just wanted to call and give you a heads up because, I know how critical this project is for your company. And as you can imagine, when you get those kind of phone calls, which all entrepreneurs get some of these, you're just trying to gather your thoughts. And so I was trying to think really quickly, what does this mean? How are we going to deal with this? And so really more off the cuff, I said to him, I was like, do your people know yet? I said, what do you think is going to happen to them? And he goes, be honest. He goes, I just came out of the meeting. I wanted to call you first, and I have no idea. And I said, well, what do you think about this? I said, what if we hired them? I mean, are these guys going to lose their jobs tomorrow? And he said, I don't know for sure, but some of them are. Some of them might go back and work for the parent company, but that's going to take a little while to flush out. He said, it's maybe not a bad idea. So he went right to his people. He gave them the news about the parent company shutting them down. He explained to them, my proposal about them working for us. And it turned out that the amount of money that we were going to pay them was actually less. And because it wasn't going to flow through the company, it was going to flow directly to them as consultants. They were actually going to get paid more. So we went from being one project of many to the only project of this team. And we were rocking and rolling. And so they had come up to New Jersey to install servers and to kind of launch and test our applications. And the head developer, a guy by the name of Philippe Tapia, who I'm still close with to this day, we were literally in the parking lot as they were about to go to the airport after they had kind of finished what they had done. And he said, it's great. It's been great working together, and we're about to launch this, and it's been really a lot of fun. He goes, but who's going to run your technology for you? And, I kind of stopped and thought and, hadn't given it that much thought. And I said, well, half kiddingly, I said, well, you, if you knew anything about incentives. And we literally, almost like a bad mob deal, walked over to my car in the parking lot. I took a piece of paper out of the back seat, wrote a salary number on the back of it. He took it away from me, turned the paper over, added $10,000, and he said, "For this amount, I'll be your CTO." And we shook hands, and I had my first CTO. And I'll never forget, to this day, I'm still friends with the president of that company, because I'll never forget, him going out of his way and frankly at his own professional risk to call and give me a heads up that their division was being shut down. But those are just all the ups and downs you go through as an entrepreneur, and you kind of when you get kicked between the legs, you get about 5 seconds to dust yourself off and just figure out how you're going to plow forward.
Join the Lonely Entrepreneur community and receive a free perspective of the day. Visit us at lonelyentrepreneur.com/subscribe. And remember, the difference between success and failure is your perspective.